If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin, in 3 days.
Tensions are boiling over. Two powerful leaders, Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky, locked in a heated war of words. What started as political disagreements has escalated into a full-blown dispute grabbing headlines worldwide. Some call it a battle of egos. Others say it's about truth, power, and consequences. But what's really happening behind the scenes? Are we witnessing a personal feud? Or is there something bigger at play? The answers might shock you. Let's break down the explosive exchange, the hidden motives, and what this means for global politics. 1. The spark that ignited the feud tensions between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky didn't just appear out of nowhere. This feud has been brewing for years. But what exactly caused their latest war of words? It all started when Trump made bold claims about Ukraine, questioning U.S. support and suggesting that Zelensky should make deals with Russia. These statements didn't sit well with Zelensky, who immediately fired back, defending his country and calling out Trump's words as dangerous. But was this just a simple disagreement, or is there more to the story? To understand why this fight got so heated, we have to go back to 2019. That was the year Trump was impeached, the first time, and guess what? Ukraine was at the center of it. Trump was accused of pressuring Zelensky to investigate Joe Biden in exchange for military aid. That scandal created bad blood between them, and it never really went away. Now, with the 2024 U.S. election approaching and the war in Ukraine still raging, both leaders have reasons to stand their ground. Trump wants to prove his point, and Zelensky is fighting for his country's survival. But this is just the beginning. The battle of words is getting louder, and the stakes are higher too. Trump's take, accusations, and political strategy. Donald Trump is never one to hold back his words, and when it comes to Ukraine and Zelensky, he's making some bold claims. Recently, Trump suggested that Ukraine is getting too much support from the U.S., and even hinted that Zelensky should negotiate with Russia instead of continuing the fight. He's also accused Ukraine of being ungrateful for America's help, fueling the idea that Zelensky is taking advantage of U.S. aid. But why is Trump pushing this narrative now? Simple. He's running for president again in 2024, and his strategy is clear. Question America's involvement in foreign conflicts and appeal to voters who think the U.S. is spending too much money on Ukraine. By attacking Zelensky, Trump is positioning himself as the leader who will put America first and stop what he calls unnecessary spending on other countries. Some say Trump is just playing politics, using Ukraine as a talking point to boost his campaign. Others believe he's trying to rewrite history, downplaying his impeachment scandal and making it seem like he was right all along. Whatever his true motive, one thing is certain: his words are making waves, and Zelensky isn't staying silent. The fight is only getting more intense. Zelensky's response: defending Ukraine's stance. Volodymyr Zelensky isn't letting Trump's words slide. The Ukrainian president quickly fired back, making it clear that his country isn't begging for help. It's fighting for survival. He called Trump's statements unfair and dangerous, arguing that if the U.S. backs away now, it could encourage Russia to push even harder. Zelensky insists that Ukraine isn't just protecting itself, but also defending democracy, something he believes should matter to the world. But Zelensky's response isn't just about proving Trump wrong, it's about survival. Ukraine is still in an active war, facing constant attacks from Russia. Every bit of military aid matters, and Trump's words create uncertainty. If the U.S. pulls back support, it could weaken Ukraine's ability to fight back. This puts Zelensky in a tough position. He has to keep global allies on his side while dealing with internal struggles at home. His strong response is shaping how the world sees this conflict. Some leaders are standing by Ukraine, but others are now questioning long-term support. The more Trump talks, the more Zelensky has to fight, not just on the battlefield, but in the court of public opinion. And this battle of words is far from over. The U.S.-Ukraine relationship at risk? Trump's clash with Zelensky isn't just personal. It could change the future of U.S. support for Ukraine. Right now, America is Ukraine's biggest ally, providing billions in military aid. But Trump's comments are raising doubts. If he wins in 2024, Will the U.S. continue backing Ukraine, or will support start to fade? Many American politicians are now taking sides. Some Republicans, especially those who support Trump, are starting to question whether the U.S. should keep sending money and weapons. They argue that America has its own problems to fix first. On the other hand, Democrats and even some Republicans believe pulling support from Ukraine would be a disaster, giving Russia exactly what it wants. This political divide puts Ukraine in a dangerous position. If Trump's influence grows, Zelensky might struggle to secure future aid. Diplomatically, things could get tense between the two countries. If the U.S. steps back, other allies might hesitate too, leaving Ukraine with fewer resources to fight Russia. Right now, nothing is certain, but one thing is clear. This isn't just a war of words. It's a battle that could decide Ukraine's future, and the world is watching closely. Media and public reactions, divided opinions. The media is having a field day with the Trump-Zelensky feud. Depending on which news outlet you watch, the story looks completely different. Some are painting Trump as reckless, saying his words could weaken Ukraine's fight against Russia. Others claim Zelensky is too demanding, suggesting that Ukraine has become overly dependent on U.S. support. The spin is everywhere, and each side is pushing its own narrative. But what about the public? Well, opinions are just as divided. Trump supporters see this as proof that he was right all along, that the U.S. shouldn't be giving Ukraine endless money. They believe Zelensky should be more grateful and find a way to end the war. Meanwhile, Zelensky's supporters argue that Ukraine is fighting for its survival, and without U.S. aid, Russia could gain more power. They see Trump's words as a dangerous distraction. Then there's social media, where things get even more heated. Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook are flooded with debates, memes, and viral clips of both leaders. Every statement gets exaggerated, every moment twisted into a bigger controversy. This isn't just a political dispute. It's an online battleground where narratives are shaped and public opinion is constantly shifting. What happens next? The political fallout. This feud isn't just about words. It could have real consequences. With the 2024 U.S. election approaching, Trump's stance on Ukraine is becoming a major campaign issue. If he wins, will he cut off aid? Will he push for peace talks with Russia, even if it means forcing Ukraine into a deal it doesn't want? His supporters see his approach as tough leadership, while critics argue it could weaken America's global influence. For Zelensky, this fight comes at a critical time. His leadership is already being tested as Ukraine continues battling Russia. If U.S. support starts to fade, he could face more pressure at home and abroad. Some Ukrainians might start questioning whether he can secure the international help they need. If Trump's influence grows, Zelensky may have to work even harder to keep allies on his side. Beyond the U.S. and Ukraine, this feud could shift global politics. If America steps back, will Europe take on a bigger role? Will Russia see this as a sign of weakness and push further? The stakes are high, and the outcome could change the course of history. One thing is certain, this isn't just a personal clash. It's a battle with global consequences. The battle between Trump and Zelensky isn't just about words. It's about power, politics, and the future of global alliances. With the 2024 election coming up and the war still raging, this feud is far from over. What do you think? Will Trump's stance change the course of history? Or will Zelensky stand his ground? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and stay tuned for the latest updates.